Welcome to Lightweight Steel Framing for Mid-Rise Construction. I'm Joist, the Director of Sales at iSPAN. I'm going to show a quick introduction video of what we do at iSPAN.
Whether you are building condominiums, apartments, hotels, affordable housing units, or commercial structures, iSPAN's Total Framing System offers a complete cold-formed steel structure that allows you to create higher quality structures in a shorter time frame at a lower cost. Our Total Framing System is designed to give contractors and developers peace of mind by eliminating the need for specialized trades, reducing construction schedules, and offering a single source supplier for all structural components. Total Framing combines the power of Composite TotalJoist with our load-bearing pre-panelized walls to provide our clients with a single source structural solution ideal for construction of mid-rise buildings. Joists and wall panels include pre-cut surface holes to allow mechanical, electrical, and plumbing trades to pre-plan more efficiently and start working in the enclosed structure the day after the concrete is poured. Our Total Framing System has been used for a wide variety of projects across Canada, providing developers with higher quality structures while compressing construction schedules and reducing cost. Could Total Framing be right for your next project?
So a little bit about iSPAN. We have three uniques. We believe in being a project partner, and that you're not successful on your project, we're not successful either. We believe in supplying simple products that reduce the need for specializing trades on site. We believe in full product support. This means from the first meeting with sales through to the design manufacturing with our design team, and right to the completion of your project with our project management team. So, topics we're going to discuss today: lightweight steel framing, the history and the now of iSPAN, the features and benefits, the installation procedures, additional resources, featured projects, and of course, any questions that you may have. So, a little bit about lightweight steel framing and total framing, as we call it at iSPAN. It can be used for many applications: multifamily condos and apartments, hotels, institutional buildings, industrial and commercial mezzanines, and anything from 4 to 12 stories as we become most economical. So here's an example of a typical total framing project for us. We supply the exterior walls, everything from the foundation up, including load-bearing walls, structural steel, including our composite floor system, and the precast balconies. As you can see by the picture, we also include all the exterior drive-it, or the exterior sheeting. We wrap all of our windows with 3M tape. So, some of the advantages of working with iSPAN. We're single source, so you're working directly with the manufacturer. We all of our own in-house fabrication. And because we manufacture all of our components in-house, this allows us to have our own control, eliminate errors prior to material arriving on site, and most importantly, control our schedule of deliverables to you on site. So, the history of TotalJoists. You can see at the top of the screen, C-shapes have been used since the mid-1900s and continue to be used today, but they're heavy and they have limitations on their spans. So in 2004, our founder, Mike Strickland, ventured out to develop a replacement to the C-shape, one that would reduce the weight and allow larger spans. The complication with this was it was a three-piece section. So we had our top chord and our bottom chord, and it was riveted to the web. This caused a lot of labor. It was very labor intensive, slow in production. So in 2010, Mike developed what we call our one-piece TotalJoist composite system. So this includes our joists, our decking, and it doesn't require any temporary shoring. The reason we can get away with no temporary shoring is we pre-camber all our joists in our manufacturing facility. So we have no cracks. We have a continuous pour. It's a superior interlock between the concrete and our dovetail deck. Extreme vibration control. All our designs are based on vibration. This has reduced our spans in many cases by 2 to 3 feet, but you have a much solider floor. Stronger joist while eliminating the need for wire mesh. So with our system, we have our joist and we have our Totaloist deck and 3 inches of concrete. There's no need for any extra rebar or welded wire mesh. So as you can see in the animation of our composite TotalJoist, it's very simple. We have our cold form steel joist with its welded shoe, our Totaloist deck, and 3 to 4 inches of concrete. Our spans are designed based on vibration control, giving you a much solider floor. We eliminate the need for shoring, as you would typically have with any other system. Because of our pre-punched and located surface holes, we reduce the need for bulkheads for mechanical and electrical systems as well. And because we only use 3 inches of concrete, it's a lightweight system, which is much lighter and reduces your design for your foundation. So this is our current design using our total composite joists and our total framing. So here's an example. As you can see, here's a few key points to remember. Since we pre-manufacture our walls and design our joists to suit your project, we significantly reduce the construction waste on your job site. Our Totaloist deck can span 48 inches, so you can see here it allows ample room for mechanical and electrical to be installed. We also design our wall system as to allow our joist to be installed anywhere on the wall. This eliminates the need to directly apply a joist above a stud. We do this with our deep track top chord design. Again, because our joist is top chord bearing, this allows the joist to be used with many different types of construction. As you can see in the picture, steel beams, a lightweight steel wall system. We can also include this with wood walls, masonry, and ICF. So our Totaloist deck is 3/4 of an inch deep and has a unique dovetail design. The deck is installed with using screws for a quicker and more efficient install. We recommend using Hilti pins. So also, as you can see in the bottom right corner, our joist shoe has a 24-inch extension. This gets embedded into the concrete topping. So with that and the dovetail formation of our deck, we're able to offer a composite floor system. We recommend 3 inches of concrete. That's the minimum that you can use with our system. 4 inches is recommended when installing in-floor heat, or if you're looking for a polished concrete finish. Also, 4 inches of concrete will allow larger spans. So again, depending on your situation and the spans that you're required, we will adjust accordingly. So now I'll talk a bit about some of the features and benefits that we have with our system. We reduce our bulkheads. We reduce those by, as you can see in the diagram, we pre-punch surface holes. So this allows you to run your mechanical, electrical, sprinkler system through our floor system itself. Because we use a lightweight steel cold form system, it reduces foundation and structural members in your design. It's a higher quality floor because, again, we design our floor based on vibration control. We have higher acoustic ratings than other floor systems in the market. Reduced shrinkage or no shrinkage because of the dovetail action and that you would typically get with wood construction. And because of all this, it's less errors and coordination on site. Your mechanical and electrical trades aren't pre-punching holes or so forth. Reduce bulkheads. So what I've got in the diagrams here is a traditional construction. As you can see, all your mechanical and electrical is being applied underneath the floor system. So in the bottom corner, it's a typical hollow core. You're running your plumbing below it. You're punching through. Anything that you install below that floor system is going to require extra fire rating and fire protection. The iSPAN approach is using our pre-punch service holes. This allows mechanical, plumbing, HVAC, sprinkler, and electrical services to be run through our system. Again, keeping everything nice, neat. So here's an example of a project where we're able to eliminate the need for bulkheads completely. This is giving a higher quality finish to a higher end condo unit. So again, no unsightly bulkheads that you would typically get with other systems. So we accomplish this by working with the mechanical trade early on in the design process. By working with a mechanical engineer and subtrade, we're able to modify our hole spacings to accommodate the system and eliminate the bulkheads. So our pre-punched service holes come at a predetermined spacing when we typically run it. However, if we know ahead of time that there's a requirement for moving your mechanical, we can adjust those holes accordingly. There is some limitations, but we can discuss those during the engineering process and we can make it suit. So again, we can adjust the drawings to match your hole spacings, and this is at no added cost to the contractor. So mechanical designers can use the Revit model that we supply. All of our designs are done using Revit, and this will help you overlay your mechanical and electrical with our system to determine the best possible approach. Reduced deadweight. Excuse me. So this is an example of a project that we compared our total framing system to a precast floor and block building. Our system allowed the structural engineer to save 28% and reduce concrete rebar design for the foundation and footings. That's significant when you're looking at your concrete costs and your overall costs of your building. How did we do it? We, again, our system uses 3 inches of concrete, first an 8-inch concrete precast hollow core system with concrete topping. Our floor system is 50% lighter than a typical concrete floor. We reduce our seismic design because we are lightweight steel, cold form steel, and also reduce our lateral and gravity loads. So again, we're less weight, giving you a smaller foundation and supporting structure, less money, which is more economical, and shorter construction schedules because you're not depending on masonry trades or concrete trades to deal with weather and so forth. So we have our own in-house engineering and design team. They're involved right from the early conceptual design of your project right through to the finish. They continue with on-site inspections carried out during each floor prior to each pour of the concrete, and continue to the sign-off and the occupancy of the building. So our in-house engineering team uses BIM modeling. As mentioned earlier, we use Revit, so that can be shared with all the different mechanical, electrical, architectural, and structural subtrades. Again, making it easy to coordinate with other subtrades. So I'll touch on some of the added components that we include with our total framing system. We have 3 different designs for balconies. The first one is our stacked balcony. It's the most economical, and it's supported on the wall and exterior columns. However, there's a need to install this prior to the floor being poured. So requires scheduling up front because they're the precast and eliminates, however, because they're precast, it eliminates the need for any concrete work on site. You're also able with this system to have a thermal break, which is required. Our second, cantilevered balcony. This design is for more complex or larger balconies. We require a backspan into buildings, so we have to add extra rebar and we require to pour concrete. So this system here would be done at the same time as the floor pour. Typically, this is used for more complicated, complex balconies. Our new balcony, this is what we call our bob, or our bolt-on balcony. It can be installed anytime after the floor is poured, so it helps keep the install running efficiently. We include all the structural steel requirements in the prefab wall. As you can see by the diagram, we have HSS columns that are pre-installed in our wall panels in the plant. And then the balcony is bolted to that on site. This allows your floor to have a thermal break and eliminates any wet work on site and can be installed at any time after the floor is poured. The size for this is it's got some limitations. 5 feet by 12 feet is the maximum precast balcony size for our bob. So we can also include rod brace systems in our walls. This will help to reduce shear design and eliminate the added cost of extra concrete and shear walls. As you can see here, this is a project that we did in St. Catharines. There's a lot of shear walls, but it reduced the overall cost of concrete by $800,000. Also with the rod bracing system, it eliminates the screw interference that you would typically get with other systems. You're able to tension the system on site, and we can use this up to a 6-story max for building. As mentioned, typical other systems on the market use a strap bracing. As you can see on the picture on the right, you have about 20 to 30 screws there, which basically causes screw interference when installing the drywall. So we eliminate that by using our rod bracing. So we have Fire and Acoustic Guide, which you can download off our website, or we can provide that through our technical sales department. Our ULC rating is ULC I525. This allows a 2-hour fire-resistant rating, and we accomplish that with 3 inches of concrete, our Totaloist deck, the depth of the joist, and 1 layer of 5/8 drywall. So once again, anything that's contained in that floor system itself is covered under our UL rating I525. So also, as I mentioned earlier, our Composite TotalJoist system is a top chord bearing joist. So this allows a much neater completion for your drywall to go right to the underside of the deck, therefore eliminating a lot of cutting as far as your drywall is concerned, and easy access and easy applying of your fire protection or fire caulking. So once again, anything that's installed in our floor cavity is covered under our ULC 2-hour fire rating. We allow any penetrations through our floor instead of below, like I mentioned, with typical bulkheads. Ductwork up to a 5-inch diameter on opening at a 2-meter spacing with no fire flaps, and up to a 12-inch square opening with the use of fire flaps. So our acoustic rating, the minimum requirement by the OBC is a 50 STC. As you can see by our diagram here, 8 inches of precast concrete gives you a STC rating of 51. Using our composite TotalJoist system with 3 inches of concrete and 3.5 inches of insulation, we can offer you a 58 STC rating. And using 4 inches of concrete with the same components of 5/8 drywall, 1 layer of 5/8 drywall, and 3.5 inches of insulation, we can increase that up to a 59. So it's a 60% higher rating than a typical precast floor and 34% higher rating than wood and gypcrete. So I'll go through just some basics of the install and basically show you how easy it is to install our system. So all our components show up on site, pre-bundled, pre-labeled. Again, I covered on it earlier, but we supply, manufacture everything that we include in our package. So everything comes nicely kitted in a plywood box, so therefore it's not getting destroyed by weather on site, and everything's labeled accordingly. Shipped per floor as well. So we're not going to ship you all the components, all the screws, and all the fasteners for the whole entire building. We'll ship them out by floor basis. So because our walls are all prefabricated indoors, it eliminates getting the need for damage on site and on construction. So everything shows up labeled. We refer to it as a big mechanical or Lego set. So everything will come labeled on site, referenced to our drawings, and installed accordingly. So we begin by erecting the wall panels. We typically ship our wall panels out in 10-foot to 12-foot wide sections. We can do larger, but we just find for ease of installation, it's easier to and lighter weight to ship them in 10 to 12 segments. We supply all the temporary wall bracing as well. As you can see here, there's some yellow braces and some orange braces. Those are all supplied by us. So we supply those floor by floor and then just get them returned after the installation is complete. So again, everything's labeled on the wall in numerous locations. In this case, if it's an interior wall, we'll tell you which side faces which way, and makes for easy installation. After the walls are installed and plumbed, we lift our composite TotalJoist into place. So with our system, and because everything is top chord bearing, We have some installers that prefer to lift them in bay sections, as you can see by the lower left. Therefore, you can install this in a laydown area and bay lift into place. Again, the installation of our joists is quite simple. We label everything and bundle everything per suite. So again, making it simpler for the install process. Again, lightweight, so a couple people can swing it into place, easily assembled. Here's a couple examples again, top chord bearing onto our lightweight wall system. In the other corner, you can see where it's installed with on a concrete wall and steel beam. So here's a cross section of our Totaloist deck. Again, we recommend that you Hilti pin it in place just for ease of installation, and it's more economical. Screwing is an option, but again, due to large footprints, I would recommend Hilti pins. As you can see, the diagram it gives you a good cross section of the dovetail action that we get with our profile. And again, it's a 3/4 inch deep profile. So once the joists are installed and your steel decks laid down, prior to pouring your concrete, our engineering team will come out and sign off on everything and make sure that everything's been done according to the drawings and their specifications. And once they give you your sign of approval, you would install your concrete topping. Again, anywhere 3 inches is our typical, 4 inches if you're using in-floor heat. So here's an animation of just how simple our wall system and total framing system goes together. So now I'll just run through some simple details. Again, everything that we have in-house is our own detailing and engineering team. Here's a typical detail showing our composite TotalJoist system resting on a lightweight steel wall system. Here's a detail of our system bearing with a concrete wall system and our joists back to back. A detail on how we fasten to a steel beam. Again, keep in mind that if typically when we look at a project, what we'll try to do too is maintain the depth of our steel beam to the depth of our floor system. Because as I mentioned earlier, anything that's contained in our floor system is covered under that 2-hour fire rating. So again, it prevents you from adding any fire protection to that steel beam or any of the other structural members. We do a little bit of a different detail when it comes to our door framing. What we typically do in our units is we use our composite TotalJoist system with our Lewis deck and 3 inches of concrete. If we're going from exterior wall to our corridor bearing, when we go to the corridor, spanning our corridor, what we'll use a deeper 2-inch composite deck. What this allows us to do is we'll drop our deck down and put 5 inches of concrete on top of that. So this allows you to run more of your mechanical and electrical units down that corridor for your main chutes and then into your units. If we have larger spans than 7 feet, what we'll do is we can adjust the depth of our joists. One thing to keep in mind, our joists range from anywhere from 8 inches deep all the way up to 18 inches deep. We can accommodate brick shelf angles as well. So this is a quick detail on how we accommodate that. We can allow for the support brick angle and lintels accordingly. So all that can bear onto our exterior wall system. So here's a few featured projects that we've done at iSPAN. This one's a unique system, our unique project that we did in Ohio with one of our dealers located in Columbus. the Brewdog Hotel. Here's a project we just recently completed in Stoney Creek, Ontario for Aquazul Waterfront. As you can see, it's not just a simple project or a simple system. We can accommodate step backs in the facade as well. So there's some exterior gardens on this, all of which we can accommodate with our system. The AC Bridge Park project in Dublin, Ohio. This is a very unique project. As you can see on the exterior, it's a curved facade. With this project here, we did with our authorized dealer in Columbus, Ohio, every single joist in the units were a different size. So again, because we pre-manufacture and predetermine everything in our plant, it's shipped to site, labeled accordingly, so very easy to install. And like I said, for this to have every joist at a different length, we definitely made it easier on the install process on site. Sapphire condos in Stoney Creek. To this date, this is the largest footprint of a site that we've done. This one was very unique as we had a lot of rod braced walls in this project, which significantly reduced the need for concrete due to the poor soil conditions next to the lakefront. Mint condos, it's unique and very close to home project for us at iSPAN, I would say. At the time of being built in 2015, this was the largest freestanding lightweight steel frame building in North America at 8 stories. So iSPAN was proud to be part of that with New Horizon Group in Hamilton. Again, just showing some of the uniqueness of our system and how it works well with other systems. Walters Group head office in Hamilton, structural steel company, obviously used their structural steel components to build their facility, but they used our composite joist system to use for their floor infill. Sunday School Lofts in Toronto. Again, because of the fact that we're using a lightweight system, we're able to incorporate it into different situations where you have existing structures and not able to install large precast structures or large foundations. So again, lighter design, able to incorporate with existing facades and facilities. Wellington Condominiums in St. Catharines. This is our system. We can use it with wood as well. This project here is actually using our joist. Our TotalJoist system is very similar to our composite TotalJoist, but without the top chord bearing shoe. The easy way to describe it is very identical to a wood TGI. However, the difference is we can span further and we have the pre-installed service holes. So again, allowing your mechanical and electrical trades to run through those holes. Town Place Suites and Marriott. Here's a hotel unit that we did. Again, highlighting the fact that we can use our system on many different fronts, everything from hotels, motels, condominiums, commercial and industrial facilities. Again, another use of our total framing system. This was for a 4-story facility in Milton. So that's the conclusion of our presentation. I look forward to answering any questions you may have. I would also encourage you to visit our website and download our brochures, or reach out to us at a later date to have one of our technical sales reps attend your office and conduct a presentation to your staff. Thanks again and take care. So some of the common questions we typically get is how far can our system span? Because of the fact that we have different depth of joists, as I mentioned earlier, we range from 8 inches all the way up to 18 inches. We can span up to 42 inches or 42 feet, sorry. Is that economical? Maybe not necessarily, but again, depending on your project that you're looking at. Ideally, our sweet spot is spanning anywhere from 20 feet to 28 feet is where we are most economical with the composite joist system. Some of the other questions that we typically get asked is our fire rating. Again, it's 2-hour fire rating. That is with 1 layer of 5/8 drywall. Compared to other systems that you're going to need 2. We're 1 layer of 5/8 drywall, the depth of our joist, and 3 inches of concrete. and anything contained in our floor cavity is covered under our 2-hour fire rated assembly. One important thing to remember, how do we manage to install our system without any temporary shoring? So once again, we pre-camber a joist in the plant. So when we pre-camber, we design it based on the span. We pre-cambered the joist as it goes through the roll mill. When you pour the concrete on site, that takes the joist back to flat. So therefore eliminates any need for any temporary shoring, which typically you would be waiting 28 days for the concrete floor to cure and remove that shoring. It's not a requirement by our system. So again, speeding up your install on site, allowing your sub-trades to jump in and start installing the mechanical and electrical once the floor above them is poured. Another question we're frequently asked is, what's our limitations for our building? So ideally, I mentioned earlier in the presentation, 4 stories to 12 stories. Of course, us in sales, we're always encouraging our engineering group to push it to the limit, but currently we're doing a 12-story facility in Waterdown. So 12 stories is our current max. So one of the frequently asked questions we get is, how quick does our system go up? 10,000 square feet, a 5-man crew can install this in about 7 working days. So we currently just finished a project recently in Oakville, where it was just 1,000 square foot footprint, and they were turning over that floor every 21 days. So that's installing the walls, installing the joists, pouring the concrete, and carrying on to the second floor. Another question we frequently get asked, what structural members do you include? So once again, any of the structural components that are involved in building our building with our total framing system, we include those structural members in our prefabricated walls. So those are getting installed in our plant, in the wall, and installed on site. So therefore eliminating another trade on site. Who installs our systems? Another question we frequently get asked. Currently, we have a bunch of installers in the Ontario market. One of our main installers is a drywall trade. So again, no need for a specialty trade or multiple specialty trades to come in and do different aspects of the install. It's a simple process, no for any structural steel installers. It can be installed by a drywall trade, therefore they're installing our system, our floor system, and then able to install your interior finishes and drywall afterwards. So the total framing system with iSPAN, currently we focus on the Ontario market. We're growing our sales territory to the Atlantic Canada as well as the West. So in the Canadian market, we sell our total framing, which is the presentation that I just showed you. Anything in the US market, we just sell our floor joists. So we don't focus on our pre-panelized total framing system in the US, but we do focus on selling our composite TotalJoists, and that's through an authorized dealer. So if anyone does want to become an authorized dealer and you're in the US market, just reach out to us on our website and we'd be glad to talk to you about that opportunity. Another question we're frequently asked is, can you use it for smaller applications than what you showed in your presentation? So not only do we use our composite TotalJoist in total framing projects and multi-res projects, we use it in custom homes. Frequently, our composite TotalJoist system is used for large, complex custom homes, giving a better floor system. We didn't touch on it much in this presentation, but I did mention earlier our TotalJoist system. This is the original joist without the shoe. This is, again, a replacement for TGIs. So based on the price and supply of wood right now, it is definitely an option and a drop-in option for a TGI replacement. The sizes for our TotalJoist are the exact same size as a TGI. So again, everything from 9.5 all the way up to 16 inches. The only difference with our TotalJoist system is we don't install our total Lewis deck. So it's definitely identical to a TGI, but a lightweight steel system. One thing to keep in mind when you are looking at a lightweight steel frame system and doing a comparison to wood, it's hard to do a direct comparison. However, there is a couple key things to remember. You're going to have less drywall for your fire protection and your fire separations. We can span further than typical wood construction. You're going to have less callbacks, so better warranty with steel rather than wood, less drywall deficiencies, and your insurance costs, both during construction and after construction, are less expensive using lightweight steel construction. Another thing to keep in mind, we do mention that our limitations are 4 to 12 stories with our total framing system. However, if you are wanting just to use our composite total system with other systems, the sky's the limit. There's no limitations. Our current limitation is only on our wall design, and that's just because we want to make it economical for you. So, or without getting to a wall system that's very tight spacings on your stud spacings, it makes more sense to stop it at 12.